Outlet pass for Rick Nash. Nash now tries to slip to the fence and walk in. Nice move. Another nice move. He scored. What a goal. It doesn't get any better than this.
As he plays to the point, instead, he works his way back free. Granlund fires, score!
Hello and welcome to the Puck Drops Here podcast. I'm your host, John Crawford, along with my brother, Howie.
Howdy, howdy.
Here for episode number 2 of season 6. And we are doing our prediction shows. Well, last week we did the Atlantic. If you want to see what we had picked, you can go out to our website at www.thepuckdropshere.com or listen to that podcast. It's also out there at www.thepuckdropshere.com or on YouTube and whatnot. Today we are doing the Metropolitan Division, but first, Howie, how have you been? How was your week?
Not too bad, long, because I'm working extra hours, but
Oh,
not too bad.
well, not much has been going on here. We had the hurricane kind of just
Sputtered.
well.
South.
It was
Thank
like
God.
we were grazed,
Yeah.
but nothing. I mean, we had some wind, but not. It was more like a hard breeze.
Like a zephyr.
Yeah, and we've had on and off rain, but not terrible rain.
Okay.
And
Now it's been freaking hot here.
well, it's been hot and humid here.
Well, this is the last week. Then starting next week, we're going to start seeing normal temperatures in the 60s.
Start to get back down to normal.
Yeah, it'll be nice. I'm sick of this hot weather.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm still waiting for my phone call. I did get an email saying that they're close to making their decisions and will be contacting me soon. And what else? Luke is by this weekend. My son, he is moving to Seattle. He's leaving on Wednesday. He leaves on Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
To go to school there. He's going for his master's. So, yeah, so I had to say goodbye to him.
He's not going to Evergreen, is he?
No, he's going to the University of Washington, I believe.
Oh, okay. Good.
And what else? That's about it. Not much else has been going on. I gave Rogie a bath last night, because he stunk. He got into something. He was stinky. And his feet smelled like Fritos. And that's about it. Hockey news,
Cool
Howie.
deal. Huh?
I said hockey news.
Hockey news. Since last week, we had two major trades.
Yes, we did.
Eric Carlson got traded from Ottawa to San Jose.
Which is huge. Huge.
Yeah. And the other one was, now I forgot who it was. Well, Pacioretty from Montreal got sent to Vegas for Tatar.
Yes. That's also big, but I think the Carlson trade was bigger.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Um,
I think San Jose got the better deal out of that one too.
I think they did too. Yeah, and it makes that Western Pacific Division even tougher.
Yeah, it does.
Even
Yes,
tougher.
it does.
And then we had Zetterberg. The news about Zetterberg not.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's retiring.
Yeah.
I guess he's had a lot of back issues, and it's too bad though, because I kind of liked him. But today is the Metropolitan Division. We're going to make our picks.
These are all locks.
These are all locks.
All locks.
And we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. I'll start first this time.
Yep, go ahead.
My number 8, which I'm kind of sad to put in number 8, but they really didn't make any huge improvements. And it's really sad for me to say, but I've put the New York Islanders as number 8.
Okay. I can accept that. My number 8 is a team that I love to despise.
Okay, I'll just write it down.
You might as well. I put the New York Rangers.
All right. So, and I can accept that too. The reason being because my number 7 is the team that you despise. And I have the New York Rangers as my number 7. I don't see them as being a threat in this division.
Yeah. For my number 7 is the one I accept to be your number.
Oh, really?
I have the New York Islanders as my number 7 because I agree they really didn't do anything during the offseason.
Right. Those could be interchangeable, by the way.
Well, that and I think it hurt him big losing Tavares.
It did. It really did. So I think these could be interchangeable for me.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I don't want it to be, but I agree.
right. And then I have a team which
I kind of permanently there.
Yeah.
As a default, that's just where they go.
Yeah.
Regardless of their record.
My number 6 team, I kind of find I feel like they could be interchangeable in here also. And the Metropolitan Division.
I kind of agree, but I think I know what you're talking about. I think they made a lot of good changes.
They made some changes, but this whole division is probably the weakest division in the league.
I agree with it. I would completely.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I would say. But I'm gonna have for my number 6 is Carolina.
And you could actually just go straight across because I figured that's who it was, and that's my pick as well as Carolina.
Wow. So far we're right on track pretty much. All right, my number 5 I kind of throw into this bottom 4 really.
Yeah, If it's fun, they can.
They haven't done much in a while. They haven't done much. I don't know what it is. They just can't seem to build anything. It seems like they've struggled for years now. I'm putting New Jersey Devils.
And go ahead and move straight across because I too have number 5, New Jersey. Yeah, they haven't done anything for some time.
No, it's been a long time since they've done anything. But the only thing they're doing this year is throwing in their third uniform, their third jersey, going back to the old colors.
Yeah, and it's like, them picking up Hall didn't really do anything. Them picking up Schneider didn't do anything. It's just stalemated.
Yep. They're kind of strange, and I don't know. I can put them in anywhere in here. Same with Carolina. I think these 4 teams right here are very interchangeable with each other.
Yeah, I would agree.
Right. So now we get to our top 4, which can be very interesting because my team in number 4. Well, we'll get to that because at the end of this, we get to choose our wild cards and everything, right?
Correct.
For this conference.
Correct.
Okay, so my number 4, I'm gonna put them in here. The Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah.
All right, that's who I got.
So my number 4, I think number 3 and 4 are interchangeable for me.
Okay.
But and depending on how they place could impact how the wild cards could turn out.
Okay.
But I have my number 4. I have Philadelphia. I think this is going to pretty much be the same for the exception of 7 and 8.
Maybe. All right, so now my number 3 is they made some big changes this year, but they weren't for the better. And they are our Stanley Cup champions. I'm putting Washington at number 3.
Okay, we are going to be different from here then.
That's who I got.
My number 3 is, I don't know, it seems like they haven't really done anything, and they just seem to be getting older, and they're staying with the same roster consistently, even though they're good, but they're just not making that next step.
Mm-hmm.
But I have Columbus at number 3.
I kind of liked Columbus a little bit better than Washington. So I put Columbus as number 2. Although sorry about that. They could be interchangeable, but I think Columbus is going to be a little bit better.
So my number 2 is, like you said, they made a lot of changes and not really for the better. They didn't really add anything. They got losses more than anything. I put Washington at number 2. Which leaves us. I think Pittsburgh last year just kind of had, I don't know, they just couldn't really find themselves. I guess it's more of a fluke season.
Yeah, I think they'll be good. But all in all, I think this division is probably the weakest one. Well, it's a toss-up for me. This division, I don't think the Central is maybe the Central is just more. There's more parity there. Not that they're weak. I think that there's just more even.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because if I take any of those teams from the Central and I throw them in this division, they're up towards the top.
I would agree, yeah.
You know?
Agree. Yeah, the Central's, yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, which we do next week. So it looks like we've got pretty close to the same kind of picks.
Yeah.
So now let's talk a little bit about the conference. Who will have the President's Trophy in the East? Or no, I take that back. Who will have the best record in the East? Who will be the best?
For me, I would say Tampa Bay.
I agree with that.
I would say Tampa Bay.
All right, let's talk about wild cards. So last week, real quick. Last week, here were your picks. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay.
Yeah.
You have Tampa Bay, Boston, Toronto, and Florida. And today you have Pittsburgh, Washington, Columbus, Philadelphia. So who are your 2 wild cards?
So my 2 wild cards are actually going to be coming out of the Atlantic, which would be Florida and Montreal.
Very interesting.
That's why I say, if going back to the Atlantic, if Columbus and Philly switch, I think Columbus will get that wild card, pushing Montreal out of that spot.
Interesting. All right. My 2 wild cards, it's a little different too because of the way that those 2 divisions work. Mine from last week was Tampa Bay, Toronto, Boston, and Buffalo. And then today, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Washington, Philadelphia. Montreal is not making the playoffs unless, I mean, they could overtake Buffalo. I mean, those 2 are really interchangeable to me. So I'm gonna go with, and then over on the Metro side, if Philadelphia has a really good season, they could get the wild card. So it's really between Buffalo, Montreal, and Philadelphia. Those 2 wild card spots are within those 3 teams. I had a real hard time, so I know I have to pick, right? So here I go. I'm going to go crazy and go with Buffalo and Philadelphia. And Washington is like, they're out and like stunned. And Ovechkin will want to be traded.
So that leaves Washington out? Oh, yeah, it does. Huh? You have them.
No. Washington's in. I'm sorry. Washington is in.
Them at 3. They're in.
They're in. It was between Buffalo, Montreal,
So it leaves Montreal.
and Philadelphia. I'm sorry. I said Washington, but I meant Montreal.
Yeah, it leaves
Buffalo, Montreal, Philadelphia. I'm picking Buffalo. Montreal does not make the playoffs. And Philadelphia.
And if they don't, will Carey Price pull a Patrick Waugh and go to the owner and say, "I just played my last game here"?
He might. He might end up in San Jose, where everybody's going. Or Vegas.
Wow, there's a tandem, huh?
Well, I'll tell you who's really going to need one very, very soon are the Kings. Quick can't go on forever.
No, who is their backup right now?
Well, they just got Bujai back.
That's right.
So I think the Kings are going to be looking for somebody soon because Quick can't go on forever. So that's it. That is our Eastern Conference picks. Those will be put out on our website, so you can follow along and send us your picks. Howie, do you have anything else to say about this conference? You've got Tampa Bay as the big winner. I agree with that.
Negative.
All right. So with that, we thank you all for listening and watching the podcast. Go out to www.thepuckdropshere.com. Check out our picks and send us yours. We're on Instagram. Send us a like on Facebook, Pinterest. We're also on Patreon. Become a patron there. Send us an email at Jon and Howie at thepuckdropshere. And I guess that's it, Howie. Next week, we start in the West. We will begin with the Central Division.
Yep.
So, with that, we'll see you next week. We bid you all adieu.
Okay.